Hey guys, today I have another video log to do, and this one's going to be a bit of a rant. So if you don't want to watch this, then go ahead and skip it. And feel free to watch my other videos. But today I'm kind of really frustrated, and I want to get some frustration off. So I just want to vent for a little bit. So yeah, I've been living in San Francisco now. Went back to San Francisco from Korea. I was living in Korea for 2 years, so I came back to San Francisco. Now I've been living here for almost half a year already. Well, I think more than half a year now, which is crazy when you consider how fast the time went by. But man, I just feel like San Francisco is it's a good city for some things, but not really good for other things. Like the weather is really beautiful, it's really nice, and a lot of good scenery and stuff. And of course, the jobs here are really good for IT people, for engineers. But there's some things I don't like about San Francisco. I don't like how the cost of living is so high. I don't like that most of the jobs here are for engineers, and because of that, there's a very skewed gender ratio right here. There's a lot of males compared to females, and of course, there's not a lot of nightlife compared to Korea. Of course, Korea is basically the king of nightlife. There's something to do all the time in Korea at night. Whereas here, pretty much after 8 or 9 p.m., the streets will be pretty much empty. There's nothing to do. Um, I know there's like some bars and stuff downtown and stuff, but you wouldn't really want to go out at night anyways. Like there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of crazy people downtown and in Mission Street and those kind of areas where most of the nightlife would be. You wouldn't even want to go outside at night anyway. So it's not really a safe place to go at night. It's not like in Korea where you can go out like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning. The streets will be full of like people, and it's completely safe there. So it's a totally different feeling, and you know everything after 2 a.m. is like closed here. So even the bars and clubs and stuff, everything's closed after 2 a.m. And that's true for most places in the U.S. That's not New York City or Las Vegas. Everywhere else, things close very early, and I find myself missing a lot of the Korean nightlife a lot. So these days, I'm really getting homesick about going back to Korea actually. And that brings me to really one of the things I got frustrated about these days is because I lived in Korea for 2 years. I studied Korean for 2 years, and actually for the last 5 years of my life, I focused myself on being immersed in Korean culture, making Korean friends, and studying Korean, living in Korea, trying to find a Korean girlfriend, and I've been trying to immerse myself in all that. So it's really disappointing whenever I meet a Korean girl, and because these days, I'm getting older, so I'm trying to find a girl I can really be with and long-term relationship, not looking to play around. I'm looking for a good girl I can marry with, and it's really, it's really disappointing to me when I meet a Korean girl and then I tell her like I only like Korean girls. I'm not interested in any other girl, and this makes sense to me because I spent the last 5 years of my life immersing myself in Korean culture and studying Korean and giving up my job to find another job that I can work remotely so I can work opposite hours in Korea. I wouldn't do all those things if I liked other girls, right? It's pretty obvious that I only like Korean girls, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that because, like, for me, I have a lot of different kinds of friends, okay? I'm not being racist because I have black friends, I have brown friends, I have Chinese friends, I have Japanese friends, so it's not like I exclude certain people, and like even just a few days ago, I had couch surfers over from Kazakhstan, so I think I'm pretty open-minded into the people that I meet, but when it comes to relationships, I think I can be a little bit picky on that because people can be more picky when it comes to relationships. This is different than friendship, right? For friendship, I don't really care who I'm friends with, right? I'm pretty open-minded for that. But for relationships and marriage, it's something that you have to consider more seriously about. And I'm allowed to be a little bit more picky about that because this is my feelings, right? We're talking about a girl that I like, a girl that I can love, a girl that I can spend the rest of my life with. So it makes sense that I can be picky for that. And for me, um, I've spent the last 5 or 6 years of my life immersed in Korean culture, so it's pretty obvious to me that I would prefer Korean women, right? And that's my preference. I prefer Korean girls for several reasons, right? I think they're the most beautiful, most amazing women, and I travel to so many countries, uh, not just Korea, but I've been to like Japan, China, Taiwan, Eastern Europe, all these different countries, and out of all those countries, I still think Korean women are the most attractive to me. So like to me this it seems like a natural thing that I would only be attracted to Korean girls, and there's no problem with that, right? That's my preference for who I want to start a relationship with, who I have want to have a long-term relationship and hopefully marriage with, right? There's really no problem with that. You have, because it's who we it's our feelings, right? It's who we really care about, who do we love. And I think we can afford to be a little bit picky on that. And those are my standards, really. I like a girl who has Korean culture because I know so much about Korean culture, right? That's the culture I've steeped myself in for the last few years. So it's really disappointing when I meet Korean girls, and then like this is pretty much like, I would say like 60-70% of the girls I talk to, and their question to me is like, why do you like Korean girls? Why don't you like Chinese girls? Why don't you like Japanese girls? And that's really annoying to me, because I get this question so many times, like why do you like Korean girls? Why not other girls and stuff? Like it's kind of, it's frustrating to me. Like, why do I have to like other girls? Like, just because I'm not Korean doesn't mean I have to like I was born in China, right? So, but being born in China doesn't mean I have to like Chinese women, right? Like we like who we like. I grew up in Canada, and we like who we like, you know? We can't change that. If I don't like Chinese girls, I don't like Chinese girls, you know? I don't have to like my own race, and I'm allowed to like other races, you know? I don't understand what's the big deal about me only liking Korean girls. I don't understand that. I don't have to be interested in other girls, right? They just think that there's something wrong with me if I only like Korean girls. Like, why aren't you interested in Chinese or Japanese girls? Well, because they're totally different. They're totally different cultures. People think that Asians are this, you know, people in America and in Canada, they think of Asians as this giant group of people, and they can just like generalize all of us. But really, it's all different. Like, Chinese and Korean and Japanese are totally different from each other, and they have totally different cultures. And if you look at the girls who travel, or girls or guys that travel, you can see their styles are totally different. Their makeup, their fashion, their appearance, their manners, their personalities are totally different from each other. So you can't just replace a Korean girl with a Japanese girl or Chinese girl. It's not replaceable like that, right? They don't, it's not even similar. Like, people think that Koreans and Japanese and Chinese look similar, but they really aren't similar. Like, they're pretty different. And I'm not just talking about appearance. Like, their personality is totally different from each other, right? So for Koreans, like, they have a really unique personality and a really unique style that I don't think that other girls have, right? Korean girls have their own style, they have their own fashion, their own makeup style, and their own personality, their own manners that Japanese and Chinese don't have. And you can't just say, you can't just replace a Korean with a Japanese or Chinese. It doesn't work like that. You can't just replace one with the other, because they're totally different, right? And I don't think people understand that. So when they ask me something like, why do you only like Korean girls and why not like Chinese girls, Japanese girls, or American girls, it's like asking, it's like totally different, right? It's like asking me, it's basically the same as asking me to date an Indian girl or a black girl or a white girl, you know? It's so different, right? To me, a Chinese girl is as different from a Korean girl as a white girl is from a Korean girl, or a black girl is from a Korean girl. They're really that different, right? So you can't just tell me to date someone else that I have no feelings for. I'm just not attracted to them, right? And I don't understand this. Why so many Korean girls ask me this question? Like, are they not secure about their own race? Like, are they against foreigners dating their race? I'm not really certain about that. I know that some Koreans are very conservative, and I've had Korean girls reject me before because they only date Korean guys, but that's like in the minority, I would think. And I would like to think that most Korean girls would be open-minded enough to at least be able to date someone like me who's Asian. I'm still Asian, you know, have Asian thinking, and I get close with Korean. I know Korean culture very well, and I know Korean history very well, and I can speak Korean, right? You would think that a lot of Korean girls would be open to me, right? Maybe even a minority is fine, right? Like, even if the majority of Korean girls want to only date Korean guys, at least there should be a minority that's open-minded to me, right? As a Chinese Canadian, right? I don't see what's wrong about that. You see Japanese girls and Korean girls and Chinese girls. You see Asian girls marry outside their race a lot with white men, right? And you see that a lot. But you don't see as much them marrying with other Asians, though I'm sure it happens. Um, but I don't see why they wouldn't, because we have a closer relationship. Geographically, we're similar. I was born very close to North Korea, actually. So geographically, we're more similar, and culturally, we're more similar as well. So you would think that Korean women would be more open-minded to this, but it seems that Korean women, from these kind of questions that they're asking me, they're more against me only liking Korean girls than they like say like a white guy only liking Korean girls, right? Like I've seen a lot of my friends marry with white guys, and there's no problem with that. They never ask them any questions. Like they never ask them, oh, why did you marry a Korean woman? Never got any question like that. For me, it's always, why do you only like Korean girls? Why don't you like Chinese girls? Why don't you like Japanese girls? It's like there has to be some problem with me if I only like Korean girls or something. Because why do I only like Korean women? Because I don't think they realize how special they are. I don't think they recognize how unique and how special Korean culture is, and how special and unique they are, their style and personality and everything compared to other women. So I don't think they understand that, and I really get frustrated. I get asked this question all the time by different women, because I want to find a Korean woman to marry, right? And I always run into this question every single time, and every single time I get really frustrated about it. And I'm just kind of letting it out now. I'm kind of venting my frustrations out a little bit, because it's just so ridiculous for me to hear this question. It's like, I studied Korean and I lived in Korea, and you know that, so why the heck are you asking me this question? It should be obvious why I like Korean women, right? It should be obvious why I only like Korean women, and why if I like Chinese women or Japanese women, there is no way I would have studied Korean for 2 years and moved to Korea and switch my work hours, and like I wouldn't have done all those things if I was open to other girls, you know? Like I did that specifically because I wanted Korean girls, right? Like why else would I go to the trouble of doing that? I wouldn't waste so much time and energy to do that if I liked other girls, right? It's just so frustrating to me that they don't understand that, right? It's like, you lived in Korea for 6 years. Oh, why don't you like Chinese women? Like, it's just so annoying to me. Like I wasted so much energy and time in the last 5 or 6 years of my life only to hear this stuff said to me. It's really annoying, you know. I went out of my way to avoid Chinese people, you know. I went out of my way to meet specifically Korean people, and you still think that I would date other people, like, is weird. Like it's to me, it's just obvious, like why I like Korean girls and why I only like Korean girls, and there's nothing wrong with it, because we all have preferences in who we like, right? I'm sure there's people out there who only like Chinese girls. I'm sure there's people out there who only like Japanese or something, right? We're allowed to have our preferences, and the thing is, like, they wouldn't ask this if I was Korean, for example. If I was a Korean guy and I said I only like Korean girls, oh, it's fine. It's totally fine, because it's on your own race, right? Well, I don't see how that's different than any other race, right? Why, if me, because I know Korean culture very well, and geographically, you know, we're similar and stuff, like there's nothing wrong with only liking Korean girls, right? That's especially since I'm Northern Chinese and I was born near Korea. It's really not that surprising at all, you know, for me to only like Korean girls. So yeah, it's just I get really annoyed whenever I get asked this question, and I must have got this question like hundreds of times. Almost every Korean girl that I meet, they ask me this question when I tell them that, you know, I'm in Korea because I want to meet a good girl so I can marry a good girl. You know, so because I want to provide for her and help her and do those things, and then this question always inevitably comes up, and it's really frustrating and really annoying to me. So I just wanted to let it out. If you guys actually listen to this rant, thank you, because I don't really expect people to listen to this rant, but thanks for listening anyways. That's basically what I wanted to talk about today, that I'm pretty frustrated living in San Francisco. I really want to go back to Korea, but I would have to find a remote job to do that again, which is very hard to come by. So I don't know how I can do it. And yeah, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep going until I meet the right Korean girl to marry, because they're the only women I'm attracted to, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you should not ask me this question, why don't you like other women and stuff, where as if there's something wrong with me only liking Korean women, because there isn't. Okay, this totally normal human behavior, especially when you consider I spent the last 5-6 years of my life focusing on Korean culture and Korean people and Korean stuff. You know, it's totally. I don't know why people would ask me that question, but anyways, that's my frustrations. And if you survived through this video, then thanks for watching. And that's it. See you guys next time when I'm in a better mood.